The first time I heard it, I thought it was the morphine ghosting back into my bloodstream. He's not the same man I married anymore. Her voice, soft, pitying, filtered through the tiny speaker hidden inside the smoke detector above the kitchen island. I didn't move. The screen in front of me glowed blue in the darkness of my study, night vision grain. My wife standing barefoot on cold tile. My cousin leaning too close, too familiar. My leg throbbed inside the prosthetic. Phantom pain, or maybe something more honest. He barely talks, she continued. He just stares. I don't even know what he's thinking. I know exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that wars don't end. They just change geography. My cousin's hand found her waist. She didn't stop him. The camera didn't blink. It didn't judge. It simply recorded. I watched my wife tilt her head toward him. I watched the distance between them collapse. I didn't feel rage. Not yet. I felt clarity. The kind that soldiers feel when the first shot is fired. This wasn't grief. This was strategy. The cameras had been my idea. After the explosion overseas, after the hospital, after the metal pinned to my chest by a man who never smelled burning skin. They called it paranoia, hypervigilance. I called it preparation. When I came home, the house felt unfamiliar. Not because it had changed, because she had. Her smiles were shorter. Her eyes flicked away too quickly. My cousin started visiting more often, bringing groceries, fixing things that weren't broken. I noticed patterns. Soldiers survive on patterns. The late-night phone calls that stopped when I entered the room. The way she flinched when I touched her, but leaned into him when she laughed. And then that sentence. He's not the same man I married. No, I wasn't. The man she married trusted without verification. This one installs cameras. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask questions. I adjusted angles. Upgraded storage. Cataloged timestamps. Every clip filed like evidence in a case I was building quietly inside my head. They weren't careful. People never are when they believe you're broken. They kissed in my kitchen. On my couch. Once. In the doorway of my bedroom while I sat outside on the patio pretending to sleep. She thought I was fading. She mistook silence for weakness. She mistook injury for incapacity. War had taken my leg. It had not taken my mind. I watched for weeks. Not every night. Just enough. Enough to understand rhythm, frequency, escalation. Affairs have momentum. I mapped it like a battlefield. He arrived Tuesdays and Thursdays while I attended physical therapy. She sent me tender messages during those hours. Little hearts. Smiling emojis. The contrast fascinated me. The tenderness in her texts. The hunger in her eyes when he touched her. I began testing variables. Came home early once. He had just left through the back gate. I saw the dust on his tires. She greeted me with a kiss that tasted like someone else's cologne. I didn't react. Instead, I scheduled a family inheritance meeting. My father's estate had been sitting in legal limbo for years. Properties, investments, the old vineyard in Europe. I controlled the final distribution. No one seemed to remember that. They saw the limp. They didn't see the signatures. Meanwhile, Thanksgiving approached. My daughter-in-law called one afternoon. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." She shouted over the phone, laughing. Others in the background joined her. They thought I couldn't hear the contempt. They thought I was dependent. A burden. I let the silence stretch. Then I replied, "Enjoy." Just that. I didn't argue. I didn't defend. That night, I transferred funds, liquidated a portion of my overseas holdings, purchased a villa in Switzerland. Quiet, private, unreachable. I sent no announcements. Just one photo to the family group chat on Thanksgiving morning. Snow-capped mountains, glass walls, a view that swallowed horizons. My phone rang 71 times. I didn't answer. Not one. In the kitchen, my wife stared at her screen. My cousin leaned over her shoulder. Confusion, then calculation. They were beginning to understand that the injured man in the corner might not be as irrelevant as they assumed. The inheritance meeting took place 2 weeks later. Everyone attended. Even my cousin. Even her. I projected the security footage onto the wall without introduction. No speech. No accusation. Just images. Kitchen tile. Bare feet. Hands wandering where they shouldn't. Her voice filled the room again. "He's not the same man I married." Silence followed. Heavy, suffocating. She turned pale first. My cousin tried to speak. Nothing came out but air. I paused the video on a frame where his hand rested at her hip. Is there context I'm missing? I asked calmly. No one answered. My mother wept softly. My daughter-in-law stared at the table. The room shifted. Power realigned. I placed a folder on the table. Inside updated will documents, every asset previously divided equally had been revised. Their names were absent. All of them. I had rerouted everything to a veteran's foundation overseas and a trust under my sole control. I needed clarity before making decisions, I said. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't shouting. I was documenting. She finally whispered, "Please," that word. So small, so late. After the meeting, she followed me outside. Tears streaked down her face. Real ones this time. "It was a mistake," she said. "You changed." I felt alone. I looked at her the way a surgeon studies an X-ray. Detached, objective. "You're right," I replied. "I changed." I stepped closer. "You married a man who believed love was unconditional." A pause. "I became a man who verifies." She tried to touch my arm. I stepped back. "There is no scene," I continued. "No screaming, no thrown plates, just consequences." I handed her an envelope. "Divorce papers, already filed, already processed." "You thought I was broken," I said quietly. "You were correct." Her eyes flickered with hope. I finished the sentence. "Just not in the way you hoped." Behind us, my cousin avoided eye contact with everyone leaving the house. The greedy shrew. She had gambled security for excitement. She lost both. I left for Switzerland a week later. The villa overlooked a frozen lake. Silence stretched for miles. No cameras needed here. No whispers through walls. Sometimes I replay that sentence in my mind. He's not the same man I married. She was right. War removes illusion. Betrayal removes attachment. What remains is structure, clarity, control. My phone no longer rings. The inheritance is sealed. The marriage is dissolved. The cousin is exiled from family circles that now whisper his name with embarrassment. I sit by the window as snow falls without apology. I do not feel vindicated. I feel accurate. And accuracy is colder than revenge. The man she married is gone. The one she betrayed is the last mistake she'll ever make.